Welcome back. In the second segment of Cairo Local Time, we're going to be talking about the 53rd edition of the International Book Fair exhibition taking place here in Cairo, and about the theme of the exhibition itself. We're joined today by Mr. Hussein Qandil, a writer and an actor. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Hussein Qandil, as you said.
Yes.
Actually, before a writer and actor,
Yes.
I'm an engineer.
Yes.
So this is a start.
Yeah.
We are here in a very special time for publishers, readers, and writers, which is the Cairo International Book Fair,
Yes.
the 53rd. Actually, Cairo International Book Fair, the whatever the event or whatever cycle it is, it's, let's say, the lung of the cultural part related to books in Egypt. So it's a very special occasion again, and hopefully it will
Yes.
benefit everyone.
So there are about 1,063 Egyptian, Arab, and foreign publishers participating in the exhibition.
Yeah.
How important is it for these publishers to be part of this exhibition, and why is it important to maintain an international book fair?
Well, I will repeat an expression I mentioned in my first statement, which is such kind of fairs, such kind of book fairs, is the lung of the cultural environment and cultural horizon for any country. Those publishers, or the 1,000 something publishers coming from all over the world, they are putting the best of what they produced in such fairs. So in terms of the financial part, which is very important to sustain their services and what they are providing for people, and in order to continue providing such services. So selling books in other places like libraries or other forums is, it is important. However, the most important thing is such kind of forums. They put, again, the best of the best of the best of the best.
Yes.
And they are introducing the best of the best in terms of writers, in terms of huge industry containing not only the publisher himself or the publisher as an entity. It includes those who design the covers, the printing facilities, the marketing machine. So it's just like media. It's an industry, a big industry, serving a lot of people. And by the end of the day, you are serving the most valuable consumer of all the time, which is who is the reader. And the reader is expecting the best out of such kind of fairs. So the readers are heading to these kind of forums or these kind of fairs to meet a kind of festival or a kind of special occasion where they find everything. If a reader go to a library or something, maybe he will have or she will have some kind of limitations in collecting a book or finding out. But in such kind of fairs, all options are there.
Yeah, but I want to ask you about generally when it comes to book fairs, not just in Egypt. With technology on the rise and social media and all of that, are people still interested in reading hardcovers or paper books?
They are, and they will never lose their interest in reading hard copies.
Yes.
Actually, I'm from an old generation who a kind of a generation who's used only to the book and the hardcover and the hardcover. Yeah, there is many other alternatives in the time at the time, and actually these alternatives are attracting people to but the hard copy book will never lose its attraction, and still up to now I'm meeting young generations and those who are let's say exposed to social media and such kind of technological transfer in the last 10 years.
Yes.
They are still interested in hard copies. It's not like all times.
Yes.
However,
e-books are on the rise.
But let's say just that they are exploring all the options. However, the hard copy will remain. I had the chance to attend Abu Dhabi International Book Fair 2019, and actually, some of the statistics I looked at the time, that all the publishers gave the option of electronic books. However, still people are still buying hard copy books, and it will never lose their charm, I may say.
The 53rd session of the book fair with the theme Egypt's identity, culture, and the question of the future. Why was this chosen as a theme, and what does it actually mean?
Actually, it's the right time to choose such a theme, because in my view, books and what produces, what the writers produce is what form the cultural identity of any society. So we have during the 60th and the 70th, maybe the 50th too, we had let's say the giants, the gurus of the Arab world at that time, in terms of media, in terms of writers, in terms of even scenario writers, directors, actors. I had the chance to live in Morocco for a couple of years in a job task there, and believe it or not, the Moroccans, the beloved Moroccans actually, they used to tell us, what about Adil Imam? Where's Abbas al-Aqad? How we have been raised on the Egyptian books, the Egyptian media, the Egyptian cultural mood of this time. So what the key player of developing a nation cultural theme is books, or art books. And what we are introducing in this forum, and what we should have introduced, and what we had introduced before, is this is what forms our identity. So, and the identity is creating the future. If you create an identity now, you will secure a good future in terms of the culture production of the nation, the cultural production of, let's say, the media, the theater, the cinema. When you track it back, when you track anything back, you will find out that the cornerstone of every good production in cinema, in theater, and even television shows, you will find that not the book, the paper, whatever paper, whatever kind of paper you are producing to end up in the stage. So what is A on the stage, what is A on the page is A on the stage, and this is actually a kind of retrieving our identity and trying to. I'm not going to say regenerate a real identity of the Egyptian culture, but it's a very good push, and it's a very good step forward to enhance and stabilize such cultural identity.
So are there discussion panels within the exhibition itself for consumers and producers?
Yeah, of course. And this is one of the most beneficial activity. All the activities there are beneficial, but this is one of the most. The readers are meeting their heroes.
Yes. So are these themes, discussed with the readers themselves? Maybe they can, give their input on.
And actually, good writers or good publishers are putting this as their thermometer for measuring or KPI. KPI is key performance indicator. The publishers and the writers, the good publishers and those who are sustaining in the market, and the writers and those who are sustaining the markets, are taking this chance to meet the readers and take their feedback and react in the future to these feedbacks in their works. And actually, I'm taking this chance to say that in the last 5 years, metaphysics or the horror or fantasy, let's say thriller, novels are taking the lead. And actually this is driven by the readers. And we know this, or the publisher and the writers have known this, because they noticed that there is a shortage in this type of novels. That thriller, let's say I'm putting him under the trailer, science fiction, not science fiction. It's more tending to be horror.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
Actually, and the funny part of this is that there is no reference. So if I'm telling you in a novel that there is a demon looks like this, you cannot say no. The demons do not look like this. So I will tell you, go on, just take a reference.
Yes.
So the part is that this was driven by the reader, what the reader wants, and then some other types took step forward in the market in the last 2-3 years, to my knowledge, and the publishers are taking this consideration based on the feedback of the readers. So if they are living in both separate islands, the industry will suffer, and the reader will suffer, and the publisher will suffer. So the forum and the discussion, the panel discussions with the writers and with the publishers, not only the writers, is very beneficial to the industry in general.
Which brings me to the next question, which is what kind of books are on display right now in the exhibition itself that makes this edition special, especially when it comes to different countries? You were saying obviously Egypt's identity is important, but what about the Arab and foreign publishers that are taking part?
There are hundreds of thousands of books displayed in the market.
Is there a special focus on certain?
To my knowledge, no. But to my knowledge, many countries are taking that chance, especially Lebanon and Syria and the Gulf countries are taking that chance to produce or display their best, let's say there is yesterday the Arab Booker Prize published their long list, and for me as Hussam, the reader, I'm very interested to buy all the 20 novels and just try to look at them. 3 months ago, last November, Zayed Award published their long lists in many categories. And I'm very interested, as most of the readers, I'm very interested to see what are these books. Most of them, a lot of them are published outside of Egypt. However, they are there. If I'm a reader and I want to be exposed to prize-winning or prize-nominated books, I will go there and I will find it. And actually, this is the point of focus. The other point of focus is what is new in many disciplines that are not related to cultural. So those who are looking for specialized books in engineering, and they will find there, it's just a very big table with a lot of flavors. So what makes it, or what makes the diversity, is the flavor is coming from all over the world.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit about your book that's being on display in the fair? What topic is it based on? And
well, this year I had the privilege to cooperate with EB. I'm not going to say the name.
Yes.
I'm with a very good publisher, very respectable publisher. Yes. I'm publishing a novel called Khanjar Anir in Arabic. It's in English. The translation is The Dagger of Anir. It's a psychodrama novel. It won the context published by the publisher, and it had the privilege to be published in the previous book fair, and it's there today. It's not a science fiction nor horror novel. It's something related to the human natures, the human let's say kind of integration between human nature and human characters and something like this. it is a novel in a context of something like suspense context or something related to what contained hate inside the human can cause to all those who are surrounding this human being.
So you published this year and the year before that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the difference between the participation this year and previous years for you?
Previous year, you mean previous book fair?
Yes, rather the previous book fair, yes.
The previous book fair actually took place last June 2021, and 21 was the consequences of 20, which
yes,
it was,
COVID,
which
yes.
was the COVID thing, and unfortunately the book fair was delayed to June. And unfortunately, the traffic on the last book fair in June was not that, let's say, that as expected.
Yes.
It was not that huge, was not below expectation of all the publishers and the writers. However, before, in 2019, the book fair was very good, and the participation there was very beneficial. I'm hoping, of course, today is the first day for public community to join the book fair. However, we are all hoping that, given the good quality of works involved, they are coming this year, giving the promising publisher introduced to the market this year. We are hoping that this year will be, we will see, but we are hoping that this year the book fair will be as expected, not in terms of financial,
yes,
but in terms of diversity of works in a side, and the appetite of those readers in the other side.
Some of your books were given awards.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about these awards and the books that were awarded?
Yeah. I had the privilege to be nominated twice to the Arab Authority of Theatre Writing Contest, 2013 and 17, with 2 plays. Originally, I'm a theatre writer.
Yes.
Actually, originally, I'm not a writer by profession, but originally, when I started writing, I started as a theatre writer. And those 2 of my books were nominated in the long list of the Arab Authority of Theatre in Abu Dhabi. And one of them, one of my plays, 2 of my plays, played in Algeria.
Yes.
One in 2010, based on a novel called The Picture of Dorian Gray,
yes,
of Oscar Wilde.
Yes.
And the other one was taken and performed in the it's called Skikda. Public theatre, the public authority of theatre in Skikda. They played it in 2013, and last year played
yes,
it again. I was nominated to the context based upon Anir was published.
Yes.
The novel was published, and I won a MINF prize for theatre writing last year, 2020. I won Kemet context for theatre writing in theatre part for a play called Four in 2022, and I had the chance and the privilege to win many prizes related to short story writing, and based on this, a lot of my short stories were published, and I had published also 3 short story group of stories in last book fair and this book fair.
So you've tried, short stories and novels and playwriting as well. Yeah. There must be very different. Which one do you think is closer to your heart?
Theatre, of course. Playwriting, of course. Actually, I had sneaked to
yes,
novel writing. I love short story writing too, but I'm considering myself as a sneaker into novels writing. I tried it once and I loved it actually. So I write 2 novels for the time being. But normally, I'm a theater writer. We started in the Faculty of Engineering and Shams University theater team in 2000, and we started writing together. And then I became the writer, the main writer of the team. And actually, it has driven me to be the director too, because I couldn't give what I wrote to someone to direct, so I stopped directing, and I loved some roles inside the plays, so I stopped acting. So primarily, I'm a theater writer. I will remain forever a theater writer. Sometimes I write novels, sometimes I write short stories, sometimes I write articles, and in my job I write technical papers in engineering. So that's all.
This year, the guest of honor is Greece. Why was Greece chosen as a guest of honor?
They are the closest community to Egypt. I've been to Greece in 2019, and I had the chance to walk around Athens. Athens, not I was not a tourist there. I was just doing for a job. I was there for a job.
Yes.
Greece is another Alexandria, or Athens is another Alexandria, not in terms of building, but it is in terms of building and the way of planning the roads and moving forward in the roads and the sea and the shores and the beaches. But in terms of the people culture, they are very close to us. And actually, historical wise, the Greece community in Egypt was very in deep in Alexandria and even in Cairo.
Yes.
So they are very close to us, and actually this is not a surprise to choose such a community coming from Europe, and they are just they are having the two faces. They are having the European system, of course with the European problems, and they have the Mediterranean culture, and in the Mediterranean culture they are very close to us. Yeah, I've been to Italy before, and they are not that close. I've been to Barcelona, Spain before. They are not that close. They are Mediterranean. I lived in Morocco for a couple of years, and I visited Algeria and Tunisia. They are all Mediterranean. However, I could not find a closer people to the Egyptian mood like the Greek. And in a country as a country is Greece. So they are very close to us, and they are very rich as well. So looking at the cultural depth of Greece, they are maybe they come second after the pharaohs, the old Egyptians. So when you go there, you feel that there was something here. There was a kind of civilization that teached the world here. So we have a lot of common things. We have a lot of common cultural things. We have a lot of common habit things, and even the food. We have a lot of commons in the way we are dealing with food and the way we are cooking. And so apart from that, their language is very difficult, and their alphabetic is very difficult.
But there's a lot of Arabic in
exactly. And their ears are very familiar with Arabic. So when I start to speak, I remember the taxi driver, he told me, Hussam, Mister, just please tell me anything in Arabic. So they are very close, and spotting the light on such kind of common cultural things between us and them in this book fair was a very good move, very good step.
The writer Yahya Haqi is the character of the fair, as well as Abd al-Tawwab Yusuf, the character for children's books. Why were they chosen as the main focus of this?
Well, Yahya Haqi is part of an era in Egypt where we were leading everyone in this scene, and Yahya Haqi was very special among those who are actually all of them were. I'm not the one who's going to evaluate these giants. However, Yahya Haqi was very special, and he was very humanitarian, and he was very close to real humans and real human models representing the Egyptian culture, representing the Egyptian character.
Yes.
And actually, he was, I'm not going to say was forgotten, last forums or last in the cultural, but he was not. He has not had the proper light on his books, on his magnificent way of representing people and telling about people. The children's literature, actually, it's not about the guy, the human
writer,
who's,
yes.
who's the character we are choosing to. It's just spotting the light on this kind of
on the genre itself
of literature,
yes.
because we have, let's say, 40% or 30% of our population are kids.
Yes.
So, and no one is talking to these guys. No one is talking to this age group and try to put them into a method where or a culture where they love to read.
Yes.
Of course, you mentioned that the social media, the internet, the technological stand of what we are dealing with in this era is going. Maybe it will apart people from each other, not from having a book and start reading.
Yes.
So it's the time. And
to address them.
Actually, we are late. It's the time to take this step and try to shed light on this type of literature. And actually, choosing a character to represent this literature in the book fair is a very good step as well.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. So, Mr. Mohammed Qandeel, a writer, actor, and Hussam Qandeel, I'm so sorry about that.
No problem.
It's a lot of names here as well.
Yeah, I understand.
Sorry about that. You're multi-functioning, a writer, a director, an engineer, and a lot of other things as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us
Most welcome.
and
It was
shedding
a
light
pleasure.
on the book.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Cairo Local Time. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more on Nile TV.